So I just want to celebrate by Rare Earth. This is from their 1971 album, One World. And this is such a killer song and such a great guitar part. And it was suggested or requested by Nat, who's been one of my longtime supporters and contributors. So thank you very much, Nat, for all the support you've given me over the years. And anyways, this is such a great song. The guitar player is Pat Manette, and he came up with just like the perfect guitar part for this song. But really, the feature attraction of the band is the drummer slash singer, Peter Rivera, whose actual name is Peter Hurlbeck, but he goes as Peter Rivera. And, you know, I always thought that he had one of the most powerful, unique voices all through the 70s. Just a real authoritative kind of singer, you know? Kind of guy that whatever he sung, you just sort of totally believed him, you know. But he was also the drummer, and just an amazing drummer. Before I get going on this, normally I use a drum machine to do my demos, but I hired a drummer this time because no drum machine can do this. It's impossible. You need an actual person drumming. And I hired a guy called Trent Otter, and Trent is a really excellent drummer, very meticulous and precise in his playing, and he did a fantastic job on this track. And if you want to get in touch with him, I'll leave his contact information in the description box below. And, you know, he's for hire, and he's really good. Anyways, let's get on with it. We're in the key of D here, and the guitar part is not really super complicated as far as notes go, but it's getting that funky feel that'll be the trick. So we're going to start here. All right, that's the basic essence of the part. So it's just C to D on the A string, 3/5. And a little hook on that F note on D3. And then we go open A, 3/5. So the whole thing. Now we're going to play that like C7, right? But just up 2 frets. And of course, we're muting the E string, both E strings. So. And now we're going to come up here. Just love that. So you just bar. And you don't even really need to get the B string. It's just the D and the G. That's what you're doing, but you're including that C note. So you get that beautiful, really strong 7th. And you hammer on that minor third to the major. So. All right, so now you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty easy. But the trick to this is now you have to add in all the muted strumming, like this. And that is a lot trickier, okay? So really slow, we're gonna go, it's just all down, up. Down. And you can do that F on the down or the up. It's probably better if you do it on the up because that will keep your strumming consistent. And that where you go ba, you know, chord, mute, up, down, and then up. Just love that. That is so funky. And you might just want to practice that over and over until you can get the feel on it, because getting the feel on it is the whole thing. Now, there's 2 guitar tracks, right? And they're virtually identical, except when he hits this, the other guitar goes. He just plays that whole chord, D, G, B, and E. Like so. So that second guitar would be. And that just goes on a whole bunch. And that's kind of like the chorus riff. And then eventually we're going to get into the verse riff. So we're going to come out of this. right? So da 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 da, C D D C D D, right? 10, 12 on the D string, and all the time keeping those mutes going. Da 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 da. And then we do that again. And we've got to keep everything muted except for the strings we're playing. All right, so that's the main guitar part. And there's the second guitar does a little bit different. He goes. Same thing, just playing that chord. And he has that little lick in there. Now that's completely optional, right? If I were going to play this in a band, I'm the only guitar, I'm going. Now we're going to go to E. So it's just that E bar chord, and I can hear that D in there. Just the first time through. Now we've got G, D. And in my demo, I played it down there. I kind of like the more ballsy sound of that. With the A string, it's just a little more heavy. But the way he's doing it, he's going. He's playing it up there. All right? And then we're. That cycle is just a lot of scratching. All right, and then it goes back in. And this time it's bam, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, bam on the C, and then D. Okay, and then all right, and I'm not going to explain the whole pattern of the song. Just listen to it, and you just fit these parts in where they go, right? And then eventually, to get out of that, we're going to go. So it's the same lick, just sort of extended. And we end on the D, and then we go just G to F on the D string, 5-3. And then back to D. I think I did it down there. Do, do, ba, ba. And then we've got this, which is like a C over a D bass. And now when I get that chord, you could play it A, D, G, and B, but I never do that. I just take that fifth out and I just play those three strings, A, G, and B. I just think it's more rock, it just sounds cleaner. So it's and then we've got this little mini solo, which I'll go over in a minute. But behind that is and the solo is just like a half verse. And then the verse finishes off. This again. And then we're into another solo. But there's a couple of little licks that the second guitar player does in between those transitions. Just that one, that's the first verse. And then after the second verse, I just love that. You can barely hear it on the record, but when you separate the tracks, you can definitely hear it. So it's... And just such a sweet little funky lick. Right? And up to speed. Right? That's basically it. Those are all the rhythm parts. So we'll get into the solo. And by the way, I'm using a Marshall 800 Michael Britt profile for this. And the overdrive is quite high, like the gain. On this whole rhythm thing so far, I've just been at 3. Right? So I'm just going to change my sound around a little bit. And I'm going to put the gain up. And I'm going to turn on this Ottawa and this green scream pedal. It's like a tube screamer, sort of overdrive. And the Ottawa is kind of cool. Right? And it's through the Kemper. I was going to use my wah pedal, but it's really dirty, and I'm just too lazy to go get it cleaned. So I'm just testing this Kemper one. It's kind of cool. So that first lead's going to go like this. All right, so it's just real, all pentatonic playing, right? So just that bend on G12 in that shape, right? Then just a bend on the 13th of the beat. And then full step bend, E13 to E15. Then and you always, put a little flavor on those notes. That's just the first little mini solo. And then the second time, it's like... And I just, some of these licks are from the record, some I just threw in myself because I just kind of made the ending a big solo. So... And then I went... Which I kind of like because we're in that minor pentatonic. That would be a pentatonic note there, right? The minor. Be the minor third there. But I went major. So I went... kind of mixing major and minor. And then this lick is from the track, and I just love this lick because that's sort of blending major and minor too. He's going to start out major, right? So that's the, what is that, 17? And you got 17 on the E string. And then if you wanted to stay major, you'd go, right? But he throws in again, that minor third there. And he goes... I just, that just adds so much bite to that section. All right, and then I just sort of made it all up from there, and I kind of went... Da 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 da. It's almost like a horn line. I'm not going to explain every note, but I'll just play it slow. And then I went into that crazy fast lick, and pentatonic playing, everybody... guitar players, well, actually mostly more like beginner, intermediate guitar players are always complaining about the pentatonic scale, and it's, it's so boring, and oh yeah, he's just playing pentatonic, right? And they have this disdain for the pentatonic scale, but I don't. I love the pentatonic scale. I think the pentatonic scale, every note of it is so strong. It's just so powerful. It's my favorite scale of all time, by far. Okay, so this fast lick, out of this, okay, so, and it's just, that's a pull off. And it's just, how fast you can do it. And then I change strings for the last one. And you give that a full step bend and try and get that nice vibrato. And then that's kind of like just a bend down, pull off. Again, get that vibrato. Then and then so that whole last solo then, all right, so that's it for the solo. Anyways, I really enjoyed working on this song. Just a lot of fun, and playing lead over that sort of funky pattern is just perfect for a guitar player. And the pentatonic scale just is it's my favorite kind of guitar playing. It's so powerful, and it's just a lot of fun to play over that funky sort of rhythm. Anyways, that's it for this one. I hope you get something out of it. I hope it helps you to learn this lick. To get that feel, you got to practice that a lot, really get that loose wrist kind of thing, And it's 100% feel, and that's only going to come with a ton of practice. Anyways, like I said, I hope you get something out of it. I hope it helps you learn the song, and we'll talk to you next time.